Hello, everybody. I kind of want to start this video off with a little bit of a warning and letting you know that I am extremely ignorant when it comes to Catholicism. I've gone to a total of two masses and one Catholic school thing, and it was really a cool experience. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it because this will be the first episode of Seeking the Sacred. This is going to be a series where I go to genuine churches and meet genuine people to learn about the faith rather than looking it up on the internet and hearing scholars' perspectives, because I'm far less interested in that. And I think that people's personal experience is probably the best thing that I can learn from. And it's just such a beautiful way of learning, in my personal opinion. Anyway, again, I'm super ignorant, so I'm not going to sit here and talk much about the Catholic faith in itself because I have no idea about any of it yet. It definitely seems like I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was still such a cool experience, and I admire that. It wasn't like totally alien. Like it definitely was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but it was very welcoming and it felt very homey, especially because there was different types of people everywhere I looked. There's people with tattoos, there's African Americans, there was Mexican people, there were Vietnamese people. It didn't feel like one group of people in one theology. It felt like a beautiful group of individuals that all had their own different ideas of looking at the world, yet still wanted to come to this place to be close with God. And I found that to be not only comforting, but like something I need. I constantly was like wondering, why isn't there a place in the world where people of all different religions can come and converse and learn about one another and not in a hostile way? And I actually found that here. Like I was welcomed very much as somebody who's agnostic, but also as somebody who's very critical. I'm extraordinarily critical on a lot of stuff, and I asked a lot of very hard questions, and they all did an amazing job of answering them. Again, I'm definitely going to come back with some much harder questions as I learn a little bit more, but they helped a lot of my misconceptions, especially stuff that I learned from the LDS Church, like people who aren't baptized go to hell. I don't know why I was ever taught that. That's just not the case. Is very complicated. I feel like I am just now learning about who Jesus actually was. The LDS Church, they definitely love Jesus and they worship him, but it's so different and I can't really explain it. Like Jesus here felt more symbolic and more metaphorical, but not really. It was like just something that we could all resonate with, and it was an idea. Like this idea that we all love one another and that we should all care for one another regardless of uh, color, creed, sexual orientation, or anything like that. Like we should just care about one another. And that felt incredible to have that instilled over and over at this one random mass. I didn't get much of that in the LDS church. There wasn't a priest being like, and Jesus teaches us that God or Jesus, but I guess they're kind of the same thing in the Catholic religion. Um, he teaches us that we love every single person equally. Yes, we loved every person, regardless of color, creed, or sexual orientation, but it definitely wasn't equal. We were sort of seen as like this chosen people. It's not a word that's used, but it's definitely like, well, you're here and you see the one true doctrine. So you have a responsibility to bring as many people to God, as well as you alone will be one of the people to enter the celestial kingdom. And it felt very exclusive and kind of like country clubby. I don't know. I didn't really like the feeling that I got there, and this place kind of stomped on that idea that I thought that every religion was like that. Even in this church, they talked about how the Pope is, yes, the biggest authority, but there is no authority other than God. There is nobody that speaks for God in this church. God is the end all be all judge or divine judge. Now, don't even get me started on Eastern Catholicism, where they don't believe that God is a divine judge at all, more of a healer. Probably is still a divine judge. I feel so ignorant. All the stuff I'm going to be saying is probably so wrong. But my main point is the people were beautiful. The church was absolutely beautiful. The fact that they're open multiple days a week was incredible. And the fact that they are so welcoming was kind of jaw dropping to me. especially because we were kind of taught that the Catholic Church was more of an exclusive club. But I can genuinely tell that the Catholic, anytime I meet somebody that's Catholic, they genuinely just want me to be a part of this, regardless of what I think. They just are like, please come join us, come ask us hard questions. And I felt so just taken aback by that. From my religion, the LDS Church, asking questions is seen as you're falling away. You're being led astray. And here it was seen as a way to grow your faith. It was seen as a way to help build your relationship with God. Like they mentioned Thomas in the Bible, and it was such a beautiful way of talking about how Jesus rewards those who are curious and question things and don't just follow authority. I find it kind of ridiculous the way the LDS Church treats questions. It's not seen as something that grows your faith. If one of your family members is questioning too much, you're told to be careful around them or to love them, but be cautious. And I feel like that's just such a sad way of looking at it, because some of the people that I love talking to the most disagree with me on almost everything. Yet it doesn't make me fall away from anything. It builds my relationship with whatever God is. Whatever God is, I am definitely getting closer to him by learning and questioning everything. That I firmly believe. So this place felt a little bit more like home to me. It was way more welcoming than I would have ever thought. And I just want to sit here and say that there's a lot of bad rap within the Catholic Church, but they at least admit mistakes and work through them and try to become better rather than just, I don't know, that's wrong. That's wrong. I heard that so many times in the LDS Church, but I never heard that here. I never heard anything. And I asked some pretty hard questions regarding homosexuality, stuff like that. Not once did I get somebody trying to prove me wrong or somebody trying to tell me, oh, well, God said this. No, none of that. It was just a beautiful way of saying we interpret the Bible differently, and that's a good thing. We all learn and we all ask questions, and that is a good thing. And I just felt so taken aback by the fact that it wasn't any form of wanting to be right or some sort of faith dick measuring contest about who's more faithful. It was just pure curiosity and wanting to be close with God. And that's what I think church should be. So I want to sit here and give it a solid freaking like 9 out of 10. Out of my first visits, this place was beautiful, welcoming, and the people there, the community was beautiful in and of itself. It was such an amazing experience, and I'm really excited to go back and do a few more videos on it. Now, obviously, this video is going to be pretty good, and my second one might have many more critiques, especially because I'm going to be going to school a little bit more, that Catholic school I was talking about, and asking even harder questions directed towards the Catholic faith. Specifically, like maybe some of the differences, and then why did that word just like leave my mind? But the Jewish Old Testament, the Tanakh. Am I saying that right? The Tanakh, and the differences between the Tanakh and the Old Testament, stuff like that. I would love to learn about that and critique it and see what they think about that. And who knows? My next video might not be so loving. It might be loving but very critical. Anyway, I just wanted to say this is something that I think the LDS Church could take some notes on as far as welcoming their diversity. Diversity in opinions and theology specifically. If there's one group of people that just are like, the prophet's done the thinking for us, we all know the truth, that's kind of scary to me. That's not a good feeling. That's not a comforting feeling that everybody believes the same thing. That's kind of a scary feeling. And here I didn't get that at all. It felt to me that like multiple of the people that I conversate probably would disagree with each other. And that is a good thing. At least to me. Obviously, everybody has different values. So anyway, that is the first episode of Seeking the Sacred. Again, this is a shockingly really good episode. Next one might be much more critical and much more, I don't know, direct as far as evidence goes. But I just kind of wanted to sit here and give you my first impressions, which were incredible. I will also be doing a Seeking the Sacred episode on the Mormon Church, and I didn't want to do it because I grew up in the Mormon Church, but I think I'm just going to leave the ward I'm in and try to go to a more open ward, like a more, maybe people my age ward. I talked to some missionaries, and they should be a lot giving me a better sense of what word to go to. So, well, who knows? Maybe I'll have another a good episode about a church, or maybe that one will be super critical. I'm very excited, especially just going with fresh new lens of eyes, like just no hatred, no garbage towards another individual, just learning about how people come close with Christ and God. Anyway, thank you all for watching the first episode, and I hope to see you in the future.